Hey y'all, this is Genesis chapter. That was Genesis chapter 38 actually, that I did in the last one. My name is Kathy Forbes, and I am a woman of God first and foremost. Secondly, I am a wife, and then I am a mother, and I am an employee. I am every woman. I am starting here because, like I've been saying, I do want to read the Bible every day with you if I can. I'm going to try. It's important. I'm trying to do it a little differently because, I want you to understand what we're reading. And I don't understand everything that I read, but I understand some of it and I can break some of it down. So that's what we're trying to do because we have to start somewhere. I'm mad at Facebook right now, I'm just telling you. Um, but it's about positivity and it's about being the example and being the peace and love and prosperity we want to see in the world. So here I am with what God gives me in these words. So this is chapter 39 of Genesis. And I'm going to try to do it like this. I was like doing 1 through 30 from the beginning. And I might even go back and do the whole book of Genesis again. And the book of Job, that was just like the saddest book to me. Um, but he ended up, all things work to the good. And that wasn't like in that chapter. That was in another chapter. But God has shown us, even the worst of decisions are being done for the good of us, to position us, put us in places of power, make us like where we feel other people's pain because we've been through similar situations. And a lot of us feel like, oh my God, look what's happening to me. Well, there's something bigger about what's going on with us sometimes. Sometimes we feel like we're being picked on, but God is not picking on us. He's preparing us. So I'm going to go to Joseph 39. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him from the Ismailites. They brought him, who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of the master, the Egyptian, and he was master. And his master saw that God was with him, and the Lord made all he did to prosper in his land. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. So you have to realize in that chapter that I read about Joseph, which was 37, he talked about his brothers and how his brothers were envious of him and how they treated him badly. But he ended up with someone who's seen God on him and gave him that favor that is unmerited, that we don't understand on other people. And a lot of us have it and we don't see it because we're so busy looking at what somebody else got that we don't realize that we have our own amount of favor. He said that he gives everybody their own amount. So if you're always looking at somebody in a bigger car than you, then you feel like, oh, I don't have that favor. Well, somebody's actually going to be looking at you in a bigger car. So this man seen the favor of God on him. This man that he ended up with, seeing God on him and treated him accordingly. So Joseph found favor in his eyes and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house and all he had, and he put him under his authority. So it was from that time that he had made him overseer of the house and all the land, all he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house. So for Joseph's sake, and the blessings, the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field. Thus he felt all he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in the form of appearance, so he was a strapping man with all the favor of God, and everybody that came under him was favored. So that's why the guy who bought him, the man who bought him, was like, hey, you can run my house, because things changed with Joseph there. Things got better because God gave him favor because he was there. Things were looking up if they weren't looking up. And then Joseph was a handsome man. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph, and she said, lie with me. But he refused and said to his master's wife, look, my master does not know what is within me in this house, and he committed me all that he has in my hand. There is no greater in this house than I, nor he has kept back from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? So the woman threw herself at Joseph, and Joseph was like, hey, no, this man is trusting me, and I'm gonna stay in my place. And my place is not to touch you. He said I can do anything I want, but I'm not finna touch you. I'm finna honor my God, and I'm gonna honor my master. the master of his the person who took him in and took care of him and gave him everything. So he was so it was as she spoke to Joseph one day by day, that he did not heed her, to lie with her, or to be with her. But it happened again this time, when Joseph went to the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was inside, that she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. But he left his garment in her hand, and fled and ran outside. So it was, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and fled outside, that she called to the men of the house, and spoke to them, saying, So he has brought in to us a Hebrew to mock us. He came in to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And it happened, when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried out, that left his garment with me, and fled and went outside. So she kept his garment with her until her master came home. Then she poked him with words like these, saying, The Hebrew servant who you brought to us came into me to mock me. So it happened, as I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled outside. So she lied on Joseph. She lied. I mean, I can see her being embarrassed. She had been like trying to get with him, and I'm sure she felt beautiful and compelled. And Joseph had all this charisma, and he was handsome. And but women have been doing stuff, they got no business for a long time, and she was doing way too much. I mean, seriously, you took the man's cloth, you snatched it off of him, and he's running from you. So you tell somebody else, like, hey, he tried to rape me, he tried to do things to me. So when the master heard the words which his wife spoke to him, saying, Your servant did to me after this manner, this is his anger rose. Then Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, a place where the king's prisoners were confined, and he was there in prison. But the Lord was with him, Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keepers of the prison. And the keepers of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in prison. Whatever they did there, it was his doing. The keepers of the prison did not look into anything that was under Joseph's authority, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper. So again, the favor of God followed him, because the favor of God was actually on Joseph. So when Joseph went to the prison, the guy put him in prison for attempting to rape his wife, which he never did. It's like the Me Too generation. I could see her saying, Me too, me too. Think about it. So she put him in prison. She said Joseph tried to rape her. His master, looking around, wanting to trusted his wife, and put him in prison. But when he got to prison, the guards seen the favor of God on him, and they gave him free reign of the prison. They told him, Joseph, it's all you, and they didn't question anything that Joseph did. That's how much favor he had. Everything was working to his good. Even though his brothers seen it to his bad, threw him in a hole, and they sold him. They never ever wanted to see him again. Ever. Broke the father's heart. But Joseph was where he was, doing what he needed to do as far as God was concerned. So he went from being the overseer of the house of an Egyptian soldier. Now he's in the prison, and he's overseeing the prison. And Joseph was a godly man, but I don't know if he feared some of those moments. I can't imagine. I know that women are treacherous, and through the whole Bible, they've been doing stuff. They've been, doing horrible things. We have to do better. And we do better when we know better. So that was actually chapter 39. And I love you. And peace.